Greetings and salutations. Right, so I obviously don't play enough Elite Dangerous, so I bought a second account so that I can do a kind of starting from scratch thingy. Because every now and again I feel the urge to just disappear off into the middle of nowhere and do some explory stuff, and as soon as I do that, all the exciting stuff starts to kick off back in the bubble. So I thought what I need is a second account. And this is it, in which I will chart the progress of Montgomery Baggins from his humble beginnings in a Sidewinder all the way to wherever this takes me. And it will maybe serve as a wee kind of introductory to new players or something like that. Anywho, I'm going to be playing with Horizons. So our starting package, we have two choices. We've got the Horizons Sidewinder and the old default U Commander one. The difference between the two is the Horizons one only has space for 2 tons of cargo because it comes fitted with an SRV landing vehicle bay type thing and a planetary approach suite. New Commander Sidewinder is a stock Sidewinder. It can hold 4 tons. At this point, tonnage doesn't really matter because we're going to be running data missions anyway. So we're going to start with the Horizons one and 1,000 credits and off we go. Oh, we need to name it. What are we going to name it? We're going to name it Wee Yellow Boat because once we're in it, we're going to make it yellow. Because as you do. So here we go. I'm going to play in that hideous assessment, which is open. You're going to have to put up me gibbering. I've never actually done one of these kind of live as I'm playing it gibbering things, so you know, we'll just have to take it as it goes. Very first thing we're going to do is go to Starport Services and make it yellow because Sidewinders have got to be yellow. It's the rules. There she is. We're going to put a nameplate on it because it would be rude not to. I'm going to go with that one. Because it's pretty. And we'll put the ship ID in it as well, why not? So, paint job. The kind of stock, kind of red and white thing's actually quite pretty, but I've just got a thing for yellow, so, which is purple. There we go, wee yellow boat. That's both fetching and accurate. Right, so we've got a couple of pulse lasers which are loaned. They are gimbaled these days, which is quite nice. They used to be fixed, but with 1,000 credits to their name, there's nothing much we can do about that. Our jump range, as you can see from the very bottom centre, 5.82 light years with cargo, which is hee-haw. So one of the first things we're going to be aiming to do is to increase that a bit. Just it's going to save us a lot of time. So there we have it. We have a nice little yellow boat, and we need to work out what we're going to do next. Well, what I'm going to do next is get a little bit of money because 1,000 credits is not going to get us very far. So into the mission board we go. For starting out, yeah, we're not going to do smuggling in the Sidewinder, that would be silly. For starting out, data missions are good because they don't take up any cargo because it's just data. And we're going to take both of these. And that's about all we can get right now. So, we've got 2 contracts. The first one is taking us to Boyle Terminal in Styx. And we're going to plot a course there, so open the galaxy map. And then this first one, the little diamond thing, just sets it as your target. If you just do that, it could be way out your range, you just can't get there. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot a route to it, which in this case is just one jump. We could set a bookmark. We could look at the system map if we had the system data, but we don't. We could buy it for 352 credits, but as that's a third of our money, we're not gonna. So let's just, we've plotted our route. I'm going to exit there, have a look, and you'll see, oh, 3 jumps. Oh dear God. Okay, so we're going to have to do 3 jumps to get to Styx. Now then, we're going to go back into the galaxy maps. If I'm doing 3 jumps, I want to make sure I've got enough fuel to do it. You see that the orange route lines are solid. That means I've got enough fuel without refueling anywhere. Had one of these, or one or more of these segments been dotted, or dashed even, that would mean I would have to either scoop fuel from somewhere, and I don't have a fuel scoop yet, or dock at a station somewhere along the way to refuel, assuming there is a station. So there's a bit of planning required here. So off we go. Oh, it's doing a flight check, pre-flight check. It's a long time since I've done one of these. Basically just waggling my joystick to make it fill in all the things. There we go. All our bindings are good, and we're good to go. Oh, I'm on a planetary surface. That was unexpected. But not for long, because we're off. Right, off we go. You'll see the panel second from the right there, where we can shift our pips about. That's basically putting them between shields, engines and weapons. We're going to stick them all in engines at this point. We're now, our mass lock is clear, so we can now go into local frame shift. I'm hoping the sound isn't too scratchy because I'm using a horrible kind of Logitech wireless thing. You can see our fuel section there, the blue at the end is how much is going to be used by the jump we've got plotted, and the jump is basically, oh hello, the jump is basically to our next waypoint. We need to be clear of the planet because our next waypoint is actually behind the planet. So let's just point straight up for now. You see to the right of heads up display, you can see our current altitude is 200 odd kilometers and climbing. Off we go. And then hit an orbital cruise height. And off we go. So we're going to line up with our destination. We're in Super Cruise, which is why we're going so fast. Super Cruise is basically a way of getting about a local system quick. And you can be pulled out of Super Cruise by pirates or other evil players, or the police sometimes. But we're now going to do a hyperspace jump to the next system, which is Erenin. Off we go. This is hideously complex and there's a lot to learn in it, but once you do get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward. This is a loading screen cunningly disguised as a hyperspace jump. And boom, if you don't want to fly into that, that's a big hot thing. So we're just going to line up with our next system target. You notice the top left of the radar in the system, sort of bottom center, has our temperature. You don't want to engage your hyperspace jump while that's anything above 60 because you're just going to overheat and die, and that'd be bad because you know dying's always shit. We're still in Super Cruise, by the way, as you notice. And off we go again to our second waypoint. You get used to looking at this screen, especially if you do exploration. And there's Styx, that's our target system, that's where we're going to go. Got two blips in the radar behind us there, but hopefully they're going to be nice and leave us alone. They're NPCs, you can see it's because it's a solid rectangle on the top of the tail thingy. If it was another player, that would be a hollow rectangle. And off we go for our last jump. And here we are in Styx. Now we need to deliver a parcel to somewhere. So, fortunately, the station we're actually going to is actually listed in our local navigation, which is handy because I don't think we have a scanner. Oh yeah, we've got basic discovery scanner. There we go. So let's look in our fire groups and see what that's set to. Okay, our pulse lasers are on our primary fire. Basic discovery scanner is on nothing, so I'm going to put that onto 2. And then let's have a wee scan and see what we can find in the area, because you can sell this data later on. And we've discovered 2 new objects which are currently unexplored. What I'm actually going to do is, while we're here, I'm just going to scan this star just to show you how it works. Just target it. And there you'll see that we've actually filled in the detail there. Now before I go to Boyle Terminal to drop off our data, I'm going to go to the nav beacon and show you something handy, which I was actually quite away into the game before I discovered this. So, where our speed is, on the right hand side of our radar, you can see a blue segment there. If you keep your throttle in the bottom half of that blue segment, you will automatically slow down as you approach your drop-off point where you're going to drop out of Super Cruise. If you just have your throttle straight forward, you'll never slow down inside and you'll go scooting past it and have to do the loop of shame to come back, and nobody wants to do the loop of shame because, you know, you get mocked. So as a handy line, your throttle indicator will turn blue when you're, you know, in a space where you can still stop in time, which is always good to know. It saves you a lot of time later on. And on the left hand side you'll see the distance and speed there. When they're both in the blue, you can disengage safely and you'll drop out pretty much at your location. Now what I'm going to do is go into the target panel, the contacts panel, and I'm going to target the navigation beacon, which is the grey thing which is bracketed on my radar. And the good thing about this is when you scan it, it downloads the local system data. So we can now see what everything is in the system and where it is and how far away it is, which is always good. And it just so happens there's some other ships around, so let's have a quick scan. Well, I'm not going to scan the Asp. Let's scan some of the smaller ships. There's another Sidewinder. Well, he's harmless, and he's clean, and he's in a wing of 3, so we probably don't want to mess with him. And it looks like they're flying escort for that hauler. So let's just leave them alone. They're good guys. They never did anybody any harm. Everyone else has liked it. Okay, well, we're going to set our destination to be our drop-off point at Boyle Terminal. Lock destination, then we're going to throttle up, line up for the destination, and engage Super Cruise, and off we go when it charges. You'll see the heads-up displays telling us we're 65 light seconds away with the timer, which basically tells you how long till you get there. A neat trick here is to go kind of flat out until you get to about 12-15 seconds, and then slow down to way less than half, and you'll find that that's probably about the quickest way to get to where you're trying to go. Incidentally, if you decide I'm talking bollocks at any point and you know better, feel free to leave a comment and say so. Because 2,000 hours still isn't enough time to know everything about this game because it's fucking massive. So you can see our disengage speeds, disengage distance over on the left there says 1 million meters. So once we get down to that point, and once our speed is less than 1,000,000 meters a second, we're good. That's our speed down, okay? We've got weird motion going on there. We can disengage now, we'll drop out pretty much on top of the terminal. So once we're within 7.5 kilometers, we can contact the terminal and request docking clearance. And the man from Del Monte says yes. So now all we need to do is work out where landing pad 2 is. Well, that's landing pad 3, so 2 is probably on the other side. Oh, there's an Asp. Look out the side on the way past. There we go, there's landing pad 2. An easy way to land on these types of stations is actually just to fly straight at the pad and then line up when you get there. So we're at the pad, facing the wrong way. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this way and then rotate this way and then straight down. But first we're going to lower our landing gear. Otherwise we'll just bounce off it and probably get a fine. I tell you, they like fining you in this game. It's almost like being in Australia. So we're just going to line up the dot projected from the bottom of our ship into the centre of the pad. Down we go. Now we go to services. And first of all we're going to refuel because it's not a good idea to forget that. And then we're going to go to the mission board and hand in our mission. We now have 14,000 credits, which is a lot better than 1,000 credits. And also we've gained some reputation with the local faction, which is always good. This place does have, oh dear God in heaven, that's a bit of a lovely thing there. So there's a delivery for 2 units of beryllium. It's 14 light years away. And it's 112,000 credits, which at this stage of the game is actually a lot. Now 2 is the maximum we can carry. And we're going to draw some attention from pirates, I would imagine, carrying that. But let's give it a go anyway. So, we now have another mission. We've still got our poll data here to be delivered, which is going to Ibutis, which we've actually just come through. We could have done that in a way, never mind. And we also have our hideously valuable beryllium delivery. So let's do that one first, because that will actually give us money to do fun things. So, we do have a system map for this system, so let's have a look and see where we're going. We're going to Bamford Terminal. So let's plot the route. Oh, route failed. That probably means that there is a jump that we can't do because it's too far. So let's have a look. Let's consider. Okay, I have a cunning plan. First of all, we're going to deliver this and see how much money we get, and then see if we can get a frameshift upgrade. So we're off to this one, Butis. And it's Chango Dock we're after, this one here. So let's set a route here. Remember, raise your landing gear when you take off. Now, as you can see, our cargo capacity is full, and on our status, here, you see a jump range. You've got 2 numbers there, 5.79 and then 6.17 in brackets. 5.79 is what our jump range is fully laden. And 617 is our jump range empty. So first of all, we're going to scoot to here and drop off that data and see if there is anything we can do to increase our range a bit. Obviously while watching about for pirates. So I'll line up with the planet. It's quite a way out, 1,000 light seconds. So I'm going to put it full throttle until we get to about 10-15 seconds away and then pull back. And that should drop us quite neatly in front of the station without having to do a loop of shame. I can see on the radar there's something moving behind me, which isn't nice. It's nothing that's going to bother us. Generally at this level, where we're harmless and everyone else around us is in the newbie zone, we're relatively safe here. We're not going to get ganked by PvP trolls. Oh, I'm going to get some stick for saying that. PvP people aren't trolls, they're just different. They're people too, they just didn't get enough hugs when they were young. And pullback speed. So our distance bar is reducing nicely. Our speed one's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. Just try and keep it about 8 seconds away. And that'll give you a kind of reasonable idea. This Planet Chango, do you think it's unchained? Well, the bad jokes are free, by the way, there's no charge for them. Your display may vary, by the way. I've got orbit lines and things like that turned off. I think by default they're on, which gives you an idea of the way things move in space, but I find that they get a bit distracting after a while. And we're about ready to disengage. Boom! Now then, the entrance is always aligned with the axis of rotation, so that's obviously the back at the bottom there, so we need to be over this end. So we need to remember to ask for permission to dock.
Landing authorized. Proceed to landing pad 29er.
Okay, landing pad 29. It used to be back in the day that all you had to do was fly through the rectangle, but now you've actually got to land the bloody thing yourself, which is a bit rude, really. One sneaky bit of useful information here is to make sure that you are not speeding ever. So you want to keep your speeds below 100 whenever you're around the station, because if you're speeding, you can be griefed if you're in open by someone in a suicide winder. What they do is they just turn their shields off and ram at you and kill themselves. The net result being that because you were speeding, the station blames you and shoots you out the sky. Which, if you have a big expensive ship, can cost a lot of money. Things like that give open its charm, really. You never know what's going to happen next. It's a fairly accurate symbol of the galaxy because they're obviously, you know, in real life there are nutters, and in open there are nutters as well. Drop landing gear.
Warning, landing gear not deployed.
It is, I've just deployed it, you silly man.
Unsanctioned acts of aggression will not be tolerated. Obey station.
Right, so we are once again going to refuel.
Contact, ship secured. Welcome,
And
Commander.
we're going to hand in our mission. So we now have 27,917 credits. Now it's highly unlikely that we're going to be able to do anything to sort our weight problem with that little money, but let's just have a look and see. So, the thing that determines your jump range is largely a combination of the size of your frameshift drive, and the grade of your frameshift drive, and the weight of your ship. Now, every single thing we have on here, from our pulse lasers to all our internal stuff, is all has a weight. And what we need to do is get that weight down somehow, or upgrade the frameshift drive. So let's just see how much money we need. We can put a 2C frameshift drive in there for 17,803 credits, which we have, and that will give us a minimum of 8.53 light years unladen and laden and 8.82 light years unladen, which should be enough to get us our nice expensive delivery reward. So let's exchange it. You'll see we don't actually get a discount for buying this because your starting Sidewinder is loaned to you, so you're actually just giving the part back. But you'll see we've now got a much nicer jump range, and we still have 10,000 credits left. So let's see if we can now plot this route to Bamford Terminal. So here's our system map, and that's our drop-off point there because it's marked with a little planet, and finger crossed, yes! So we now have a nice route plotted, and it is 3 jumps away. So without further ado, let's go and make lots and lots of filthy cash. I say lots and lots of filthy cash, but actually to be just starting out in the game, over 100,000 credits, that is actually a shitload of money. So let's look at this show off in the Beluga. So anyway, let's deliver this before they change their mind. Another little tip here is if you leave your landing gear down until you get clear the mail slot, it has a couple of effects. First is it makes your more sensitive, and secondly, it keeps your speed down, which is always nice. I have an underpowered Sidewinder. So, we're waiting until we've escaped the mass lock of the city. And I would imagine we're going to possibly draw some attention. I'm assuming here actually that when before you start playing that you're going to do tutorials, because tutorials are actually really good these days. On the initial release, you were really just dumped right into the middle of the thing, and left to get on with it, with only a few kind of cursory combat tutorials. They're now pretty solid. And here comes jump number 2. If we check over on our panel here, you see we've got 2 jumps left to go on the left hand side.
Frameshift drive charging.
Doing quite well, I haven't even fired the pulse lasers yet. I was thinking of calling this series Elite Dangerous from scratch, and then I thought ED from scratch, but then that kind of gave me the idea of Ed scratching, which is kind of what I spent the first 6 months of playing the game doing, just because there is nothing particularly complex in the game, there's just a lot of it. You see we've got a hollow on the radar there, that's going to be another player. So just in case he has evil designs, let's get out of dodge. Our last jump. here we are, getting lined up for Bamford Terminal, where the BAMs are, presumably. Quick check of contacts. There's police here, that's always good. Now 1,823 light seconds is quite a long way away, so it's going to take us a couple of minutes to get there. And we are pretty much in the shipping lane, which means if there are any bad guys looking for anyone to steal beryllium from, this is where they're likely to be. But you never know. We might get left in peace. It's always good when that happens. It's always worthwhile checking what's around. Early on, anyone attempting to parry you is likely to be in a Sidewinder, a Viper, or maybe a Cobra or an Adder. Cobra and the Viper could be quite challenging, but you can always run away. Running away is a perfectly viable option. Now there's an interesting thing. It's an unidentified signal source, so we're going to target that and see what it is. Weapons fire detected, threat 1. Threat 1 means not very threatening, but if you fancy a punch up, we could always just nip in there and see if anybody needs some help. So you would approach this just like, you know, a station or anything else. It's just a matter of getting, well, in this case 11.3 million meters away from it at the right speed, and then you can drop it. This may be an incredibly bad idea, but we'll see. If it all starts to go horribly wrong, what you do is you retract your hard points, you run like hell, and you go back into Super Cruise. So before dropping out, I'm going to put all my power management pips in systems and 2 in weapons. That'll give me the best my shields can take while a bit left over for weapons, and the Sidewinder is nippy enough that it's not going to need too much in engines. So let's see what we've got. No! Lots of things. Okay, it's a wing of 4, so what we're going to do is we're immediately going to get the hell out of there. And we're going to do that by putting everything in engines and boosting as much as we can. I'm not hauling anything, leave me alone. The mass of the larger ships is slowing down our frameshift charging. Well, I wouldn't really have called that a threat 1, but you know. Okay, so we're gonna target our our drop-off point, which has vanished. Oh, there we go, Bamford Terminal. Yeah, I mean, there's a threat 1, and then there's a wing of 4 larger ships. You know, it's somewhat extreme. Now the question is, are they chasing us? No, they're not. We're good. There is no shame in running away when you're outmatched, particularly when you're carrying cargo that's going to net you over 100,000 credits in your first hour. The only thing really missing with this is a small child in the back going, "Are we there yet?" every 2.5 seconds. Almost there. Oh, I'm just too tempted. What's this one? Oh. Nothing's usually interested, and then they will probably kill us, so, you know, let's stay away from the convoy. So there we go, that's our drop-off point. So we shall request docking clearance.
Boarding permission granted.
Oh, how kind. So there's two, and there's one on the other side. It's always worthwhile having a lot of practice with working on all axes, because you are in three-dimensional space, so being able to slide in lots of different directions just kind of automatically without thinking about it does make things easier, even when you overshoot like that. So, handy tip for lining up, the number is always at the front. So we can go straight ahead here. And remember to put down our landing gear.
Landing gear deployed.
There we go. In Bamford Terminal, we're going to refuel and go to the mission board and become richer than our wildest dreams. Look at that. Remarkable. We're wealthy. So, we got a message there. And we've been promoted. Isn't that magnificent? Which was quite early on, but then, you know, for this stage, 100,000 is a shitload. So that means that now that we're not harmless in that rank, we can proudly display it on our ship. So let's do just that. So, we can go to livery and slap bang in the front of our ship, we're a peddler. There we go, we have our first badge. Isn't it awesome? Right, so let's have a look and see if there's something useful we can do with this 100,000 credits we've got. Now we've got our little gimbaled pulse lasers, which we'll do for now, I think. At this point, our main capabilities should really be in running away. Now you'll notice I wasn't able to boost very much there, and that's largely because of the tiny little power distributor. That's the place where your pips are. They basically operate like three giant capacitors, and the higher rated it is, the more charge it can hold and the faster it charges. Now modules are rated, there's two factors, there's the size and the grade. Now this is a 1E, so it's a size 1 grade E. Each has its own characteristics. D tends to be lighter, So if you're looking for long range, you'd generally go for the D-rated ones. If you look down at the bottom, where the jump range is listed, you'll see blue says it's going up. It's staying the same. Red is going down. It's going down because it's heavier. But you will see that we're actually getting a fairly significant increase across the board with going for the 1A, and it's 20,000 credits. It would be rude not to. So we're going to fit a 1A power distributor. Next thing we're going to look at is our thrusters, again related to running away. Now we can't afford those ones because damn they're expensive. That makes a huge difference, but if you notice down the bottom, we've got two figures for our power there. We've got 5.66 megawatts retracted, 6.44 megawatts deployed. What that means is when your hard points are out, you've got your weapons out, that's your deployed value. And if you're overloading, something's going to shut down to compensate. Now you can in here, for each module, you can set its priority. And that's how quickly it'll shut down. You see down in the bottom there, you've got little lines for 1 and 3, where things shut down. Things like your life support, it doesn't draw much power, but you probably don't want it to shut down. Here, everything's just rated equally, pretty much. So, what we don't want to do at this stage is overdo our power consumption. So, sadly, before we can upgrade our thrusters, we need to look at upgrading our power plant so we've got a bit more capacity. Now, to get these B-rated ones, we need 6.44 megawatts. So let's go into our power plants and see what we can do there. I mean, pretty much any of these is going to give us more than enough to cover that. We'll go with a 2C just now, so that we're not blowing all our money in the one shop. And we're going to put these B thrusters on because that will help us run away from things. We've got 31,000 left, we're still doing well. And for our optional internal, our shield generator's not great. We do have a fair chunk of power capacity free there, so let's see if we can upgrade our shields a bit. Okay, we can get a 2C, which is good. The bi-wave shield generator is an interesting thing because it's not as strong as a standard shield generator, but it does recharge really fast, which is kind of nice. But we're just going to go with the standard just now. That gives us a fair wee boost, and we've still got 13,000 credits left. But we should now be a little bit more nippy and be able to be a bit more survivable. So let's look at making some more filthy cash. Go back to the mission board here and see what's available. And the answer is not a lot. There's hee-haw here. What's in the system? Lots of belts. Ringed planets are always good because they tend to have resource extraction sites where you get pirates. So let's go there and see if we can do a spot of bounty hunting with our pathetic, puny little pew-pew lasers. But before we do this, you will see what our balance is there, 13,211 credits, and below that is our rebuy cost of 6,350. If we die, That's how much it'll cost us to respawn with our ship in its current configuration. There is one simple rule, and that is don't fly without rebuy. If you can't afford it, the rebuy, don't do it. There have been too many horror stories of people flying about in, 600 million worth of Anaconda, not having the 15 million rebuy when they got killed and starting again in a Sidewinder, which nobody wants that. So let's nip out and have a look and see how we fare. You see we can boost much more often now. Okay, that resource area is quite far out, so what I'm going to do is instead I will go to the nav beacon, because there's usually fun and amusing people at the nav beacon, if I can find it. Okay, let's do it from the system map. Okay, it's probably all the way back here then. So we'll fly towards the sun to start with. The nav beacon's always at the entry of the system. Actually, here's a better and quicker idea. We are kind of really out in the middle of nowhere here. Let's go to Ovid. Ovid looks like a nice place. What's there? Yeah, some stations here and things. Okay, let's just head off to Ovid and we'll go to the nav beacon there. So the our lucky 120,000 we got. I don't know how rare that is, if it isn't even as rare at all. It might be quite common in the new area. It's been a while since I've done this. If it's not, you can get the same chunk of cash just by running 4 or 5 data missions. And that'll net the same result, so you don't have to worry about looking for a particularly well-paying job. We just got lucky. So we're going to drop into the nav beacon and see if we can pick a fight. Because why not? Why wouldn't you? One thing to make sure is, if you are going to do bounty hunting, wait until the scan finishes and your comms console in the bottom left says wanted in red, because so many times I've been doing bounty hunting and a ship has been attacking the police and the police are attacking the ship, and I've opened fire on it before the scan had finished. Net result being no scan, it's not a legal attack, and I got wanted for it. And the police killed me to death with extreme prejudice. They're very unforgiving in this. Well, there's a little Viper. The Vipers are great little combat ships. Oh, and he's legged it. And he's liked it as well. That's a python. I'm not attacking the python in the Sidewinder. That was just silly. Why is it that as soon as I enter an area, everybody runs away? I mean, it's a Sidewinder, for God. Maybe it's because it's yellow. Maybe they have yellow fear. They fear the yellow. Okay, well that didn't go terribly well. See what else is in the system. Be a good idea to stay away from conflict zones at this point because they're full of ships with massive amounts of engineering and you will die really quickly. Okay, we're gonna get a station.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, lots of ships have appeared. Hang on. It's some of the same guys from before. And maybe just really far out. You'll see how these players are clean, which is why we are not shooting them, because that would be rude. Nope. Oh well. Run away. Oh, of course I've got low rated sensors, so I can't really accurately lock on things until like I'm halfway up their arse, which isn't pretty really. So it occurs to me that I do actually still have one thing to do, other than pick a fight, which is define the face of Montgomery Baggins. Because he currently has no face, he's just like a skull under his helmet. He's Ghost Rider. He could look like Nick Cage. I mean, oh Jesus. It's a horrible thought. Nope, we don't want to do the loop of shame. Actually, let's use our Discovery scanner just because. There's an unidentified signal source. Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. There's another one. Ooh. Now this is an interesting one because this generally means that someone's been blown up, so there may be stuff we can swipe. I guess these things are what would be random encounters in Final Fantasy. Oh no, not the loop of shame. Nope, just made it. Okay, well someone's come to a sticky end. Let's scan the beacon and see what we've got.
Incoming message.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Vulture, Cobra and a Cobra. Okay, it's time to get the hell out of there. Yeah, I wanted to pick a fight, but maybe not with that many. There's a lot of big annoyed wings. How rude. Oh, was that another signal source there? They're coming thick and fast. Yeah, it certainly was. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, let's ignore that one. I'm erring on the side of caution. One thing that does take a long time to get the hang of is, well, not get the hang of, but get the way you like, is the controls. I use a hands-on throttle and stick with all buttons in the bloody world on it, and multiple hats and toggles and buttons that go beep and all kinds of things, so that pretty much everything can be done using the sticks, and which is why I managed to kind of flick through menus and things so quickly. I would strongly recommend it, particularly if you're going to be playing in VR, because it just really helps with immersiveness.
200 meters from touchdown.
Although I do have it in very good authority that the mouse control is great. Remember the landing gear.
Landing gear deployed.
So what have we got here?
Landing successful. Ship
Fuel.
secured. Enjoy your stay, Commander.
So we've got quite a few missions here. Couple of data delivery missions. Another data mission. That's quite a nice one. 61,000 credits for a 7 light year jump. We could do that one.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Don't want to do salvage missions just yet because they can be a bit hairy. Here's more data. Right, so we have quite a few deliveries to make now. This is going to like star Uber. But first, we need to create the face of Montgomery Baggins. Create the face of Montgomery Baggins. So, oh Jesus. So he's definitely male, because you know it would be silly otherwise. I think we need to give him a nice yellow suit to go with his nice yellow ship. Oh no, those are locked. Oh bugger. Yeah, I haven't bought any suits because that's just plain silly. So, oh Jesus. Let's stick with the black one. Okay. So should we start with a preset? Jesus, it's Rorschach. Oh, that could be Montgomery Baggins as a good starting point. Okay, let's hit randomize. Oh yeah. No, he's not Montgomery Baggins. Right, I'm going to start with the old dude as a starting point. He's a bit pilly-wally looking, but yeah. Okay, let's randomize his scars. I know people that spend hours and hours doing this, but my problem is that I have no artistic ability whatsoever. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to randomize his hair. Oh, Jesus! We don't want purple and green. Actually, I think Montgomery Baggins could actually be a ginger, couldn't he? A ginger from the 50s. Yes. So, okay, he should have no beard because... No beard. No, that's... What? It's determined that I want a beard, right? I don't want a beard. I want a ginger from the 50s. Right, so let's see. That's a kind of 50s hair. Yeah. I don't want stubble because 50s people didn't have stubble. Dark ginger's good. Right, okay, now we need to go back and get rid of this scar because it's not normal for people from the 50s to have scars. He's actually pretty much spot on a 50s dude already, really, isn't he? He does have the kind of, hi, my name's Biff thing going on. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is the face of Montgomery. Well, that was easy. Right, okay. So there he is. We have his pus. His pus has been invoked. Hey, Montgomery Baggins. Right, so let's see if we can ninja around and efficiently deliver this stuff. So, rather than working from the mission list, let's have a look and see what we've got. They are spread out a bit, which is a shame, but I reckon we could just go around in a big loop. So, now, I have stars filtered because that's how I usually have it by default because I want to be able to fuel scoop. So the ones that were turned off there, basically everything down to M are the star types that you can suck fuel from if you have a fuel scoop, which means you can go insanely long distances when there are no stations to refuel at. Right, so let's start off here and there's where we're making our delivery. Wilson Terminal. Wilson! So let's go and deliver the beach ball data to Wilson. Or was it a basketball? What was Wilson? I think it was the basketball. Yeah. Go, 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 go!
Engaged. Access corridor is clear.
We're coming, Wilson!
Landing gear retracted.
And it's only one jump away, how handy.
Way ahead is clear. Federal flight control signing off.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, cha bugger! Don't fly into the neutron star. It never ends well. You can, however, if you manage to scoop from the tail, you can actually get a pretty significant boost to your frame shift temporarily. A kind of one jump deal. It's not unusual to be able to go 200 light years in a single bound. Of course, you have to risk hideous fiery death to do it. I think it may be radioactive fire rather than just fiery fire. Either way, it's not nice. Wilson, we're coming! You had enough of that one yet? Now we're ignoring the signal source because we have deliveries to make. And if we're late, then we have to give the pizza free and everyone loses out. Go away, tempting signal sources! Thou canst not turn my head, for I look not. Here be Wilson Terminal.
DeLacy, Mike, Oscar, November. Federal flight control channel open. Observe docking protocols if you wish to land.
These stations are actually really nice.
Authorized. You are clear for approach to pad 2-1.
They have little kind of farming communities and little wooden houses, and yeah, it's just really cute. Look at that. Theoretically, you'd think it would get a bit dizzy, but you know, it being space and all. Oh, don't go in shadow, I want to see the little houses. God damn it! God damn it, physics! Show me your little houses. Anyway, I got distracted. Let's back off a bit. And then get into... Oh, damn, that's pretty. Gravitationally, that can't be good. Let's get the camera mode on, just for a second. Oh, hello. He's just waiting there patiently. Okay, let's see if we can get a nice picture. That's not a nice picture. See if we can get all the nice things in one place. Yeah. So we'll hide that, take a screenshot, and there's a nice picture. Anyway. The new camera suite's great. You can do all kinds of kind of cool, blurry, focal effects as well as, you know, set things up. You can also, with multi-crew, if you have someone else in your ship with you, you can fly the ship while they film it using the camera kit. Where the hell's landing pad 21? There it is. Landing gear down.
Touchdown. Ship is locked down. Greetings, Commander.
Greetings. Right, let's hand in our mission. At this point, if you're going to be sitting down for a couple of hour sessions, everywhere you drop off data missions, pick up more data missions. And you can fly through them really pretty promptly if you don't get distracted by things like I do. So, here's our next stop. The galaxy map is irking me. It's there. Okay, let's get the system map up and see where exactly we're going. Oh, 4,000 light seconds out. That's quite a long way. That'll take a wee while. And off we go.
Ship detach complete. Clear for departure.
No, don't come barging through here, you big party thing.
Landing gear retracted.
There's a star gone. That is really quite pretty. Anywho, we can now jump out.
Frameshift drive charging.
And we're only one jump away. The trick to these missions where you know, the destination is 4 or 5 or 10 or 100 light seconds away from the system entry point is just to shove the throttle forward, put your feet up and just watch that counter coming down. It does come down quicker than you expect, unless you've taken a mission which ends at Hutton Orbital. Don't ever take a mission to Hutton Orbital, because there is far from the entry point and then there is Hutton Orbital. It's not even funny how far that is. Put it this way, it takes about 50 minutes. We are going to ignore the signal sources, otherwise we'll never get anywhere. It lies. It's only telling us to slow down because we were going past a large mass. But it's not the large mass we're looking for. No. We're looking for Trumpler Dock. I hope it's not a Donald Trumpler Dock, because that would be shit. A station with bad hair, can you imagine? Ooh, there's an Earth-like world there. These moons with the ones that have got a little blue circle means that if you have horizons you can land on those moons, and the ones with the three little lines coming out means that there is a station or a, you know, a kind of base there where you can land, and they have, you know, the usual station services and so on. Landing on planet surfaces and getting off planet surfaces is an entirely different matter, which I'm going to go into in the next video after I've dropped off these missions. So we're going to rein back on our speed now so we don't have to do the loop of shame. Because as I've said, nobody wants to do the loop of shame. Except for Trump. With his bad hair. I'm not looking at you, signal source. Because you're probably just stuffed full of feckin' vultures again. Treacherous bastard. There's a lot of mass in this system. Oh, that'll be it. Yeah, gravity affects everything in this game, and notably it affects the speeds that you can do anything. Landing an anaconda on a high gravity planet is just, it's an exercise in terror. It's what it is. Hurtling towards the ground at, you know, 6G in a machine with a 15 million credit rebuy cost, it's not nice. Which is why I never do it if I can possibly get away with it. And we're good. Reveal yourself, Trumpler.
DeLacy, Mike Oscar, November. You are now in Federation space. Follow all regulations before and after landing. Authorization clear. Proceed to landing pad 29.
That was a bit strange because normally I'm used to hearing them saying Charlie Hotel Echo because my other character's name starts with CHE, whereas it's Mike Oscar November here because it's Montgomery Baggins. Oh, something just zipped past me at a rate of knots. How rude. Let's get the landing gear down early. Sidewinders are really great because you can just throw them about the place. They're really nimble. Ah, back up! I was almost a splat on the tower window.
Landing sequence completed. Disembark when
Refuel,
ready.
hand
Welcome
and mission.
to Federal Facility, Commander. It's good to have you.
You're getting tiny amounts of money for these missions, but what you are doing is increasing your reputation with the factions you're getting the mission from, which means you get available to, you that was almost English, which means you get access to better paying missions, which is always good. The galaxy map has been behaving really oddly since the last update. It hates my mouse. Oh, well, we have one on a planetary surface here, so I guess we'll be doing it in this video after all. So, there we go. There's our base, and we're going to plot a route to there. And it is one jump away, as everything seems to be. Off we go.
Depart when ready, Commander.
There is the kind of convention here that you're supposed to stick to the green side when you're out and leaving the station. And you're the size of the slot, then it's kind of a bit of a moot point. You know, you can't really keep to the side. But certainly in the smaller ships you can, and you're much less likely to get battered in the face by a big ship if you do so. And off we go.
Drive charging.
So we're off to Krylov installation. Sounds Soviet. So it's the same as approaching a station really, with a bit of added complexity. We're going to keep in the blue region as well. You can see we've got our distance and speed as usual. While the Krylov installation part of the HUD is yellow and solid like that, it means it's in front of the planet, not behind it. Otherwise, if it was a kind of greyed out dotted, you'd have to, you know, orbit the planet until you got to it. Now, what we're doing here, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, I'm going to target the planet and scan it. Oh, I don't need to scan it. Ignore that. Okay, I'm just going to fly straight in there. And you'll see once we get close enough, we kind of need to be have the speed in the blue area on the left there, just so that we don't hit the thing too fast. You can see we're coming down to orbital cruise height.
Orbital flight engaged.
Once we get close enough, we drop into a glide, which takes us pretty much down to within a few kilometers of the surface. You can see underneath the altimeter there, to the right of the heads-up display, the three numbers at the bottom, you've got your latitude and longitude, and then you have your gravity reading, which in this case is 1.23 so far. Obviously that's increasing as we get closer to the planet, which means it's not going to be a pleasant landing, because all of a sudden your several 100-ton ship starts to really feel its weight. Although fortunately, as sidewing, there isn't several 100 tons, which is always good.
Incoming mission critical message.
Oh. They want it within 2 minutes. Well, yeah, try. And back on the throttle and pull up because we've got really high gravity here. Right, and now that we're stable, we can get docking permission.
DeLacy, Mike, Oscar, November. Please submit a landing request on approach, Commander.
Where are you? There we go. I think that's us straight ahead there. Okay, you don't really want to fly straight down for too long with these ones. You can tell this is one for Sidewinders because it's bloody tiny. There are strong winds here.
Warning, restrict speed and be aware of oncoming traffic.
Yeah, no shit. This is the messiest landing I've done in ages. But hey, what can you do? Missing it by a mile.
Caution, deploy landing gear.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Something, okay, that wasn't a... Nobody's perfect.
Ship is on the ground. Commence power down. We're pleased to have you, Commander.
Oh damn! Use an Irish dude. I've never had an Irish dude in here before. Okay, so there's our 2 units of evacuation shelter delivered. We got reasonable amount of money for that. As you can see here, we have loads of data missions. And we have 2 remaining to do. So this one next. Now let's... No, we're not going to purchase exploration data. That's silly. That's a lot of money for how much we've got. So we're just going to fly at the system. It's 2 jumps away, I believe. Oh no, it's 1 jump. Right, so taking off from a higher gravity planet involves getting as much speed as you possibly can as soon as you can. So off landing gear retracted immediately and just boost and get the hell up there. And then once you're 2 kilometers up, you can get your frame shifts, drive on. Again, we need to clear the planet silhouette before we can line up with our target. Where is it? Oh, it's still way down there. No, don't drop. No, no, no. Come on, back up. Up, 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 up. And we're clear of the silhouette. Can we see it yet? We certainly can. Just. So it's time to bolt. Meow. Like that. Whoosh. Right, so we don't need to go to the nav beacon, we can just lock that one there and straight over we go. Let's give the area a scan, see what we can find. We found some new astronomical objects. You do have to be 20 light years away from where you scanned it in order to sell the scan data, but it can be pretty lucrative if you do it routinely, you know, as a matter of course. Every time you enter a system, scan it, just give it a honk. The default scanner has a fairly limited range. There's a few upgrades, including an advanced one, which basically scans the whole system that you're in, which, you know, is sometimes the only way to get everything, because, you know, you can be pottering about in the system for ages without realizing that there's actually another star in the system a good, you know, few tens of thousand light seconds away. Resource extraction site. That's handy for bounty hunting. In fact, I think what I might do is the next video I'll finish up when I deliver this. Next video I'll nip in there and pick a few fights, hand in some bounties, and then go off and do our last delivery, because we have 22 hours in which to do it, which is tons of time. Tons of time. And that's enough time to knit a whole cat, for God's sake. There we go, that's our home for the night. Hey, can we dock please, man, and that? No, need to get some bucky and that. I'm pure gonna land on you, man. Aye, well, you gotta make your amusement where you can, haven't you? Right, landing gear down, because I always forget that. Let's do a sneaky about face maneuver on here. It's actually quite nice being in Sidewinder for a change. I mean, you know, I could do maneuvers like this in an Anaconda, but I'd have to make an appointment 3 weeks in advance to do it, really. Because it doesn't so much turn as sit stationary while the universe rotates around it. Oh! I nearly missed the landing pad. How rude. Boom! There we go. Mission handed in. Rich beyond our wildest dreams. And tomorrow, next video, we're gonna run up some more filthy cash and shoot some filthy pirates and buy some filthy upgrades. So, thank you for being such lovely people. And I'll see you next time.